Namaskar, good evening, and welcome back to our YouTube channel VLSI for All, a hub for technical education and an epicenter for affordable VLSI coaching in India. Today, we are indeed proud and honored to have with us Ms. Apurva Dikshit, an exemplary student from IIT Kanpur and an employee at the prestigious technological giant Qualcomm. So, uh, before jumping into the questionnaire, let me have the privilege of introducing Apurva ma'am. Ma'am has pursued her a master's in VLSI and microelectronics from IIT Kanpur and has scored a perfect CGPA of 10, which itself is an achievement, I guess. And also, she has done an internship at Qualcomm and got a pre-placement offer there. Along with that, ma'am also has a passion of running her own YouTube channel, which she'll be explaining us now in the interview. So, ma'am, with your kind permission, can we start the questionnaire?
Sure, go ahead.
Ma'am, your profile is so astonishing and inspiring for many of the VLSI engineers out there like me. At which stage, when you did create an interest for a VLSI?
Okay, so I did my graduation from Kanpur, and there we used to obviously in our graduation we study various specializations like in bits and everything. So there was this devices subject, and it was really provident that I was into devices more than the communication or other subjects. So my inclination actually started from my graduation onwards, and when I was preparing for GATE, obviously, then also my main subjects were devices, analog and digital circuits. So EDC was my favorite subject by far. So yeah, so from there on, I decided that even if I'm going to get any kind of specialization, obviously it depends upon your rank and also the college that you are aspiring for. But I was, reluctant that I wouldn't be joining any other specialization. VLSI is for me. Otherwise, I can go for lower rank colleges, but I'll take VLSI specialization. So yeah. And obviously, it's the more, you can say that VLSI is one of those specialization which offers really good MNCs and good packages. So that was also one of the reason why I was inclined towards VLSI more. Yeah.
So moving forward, ma'am, how is like IIT Kanpur different from the other colleges in India, and like what are the advantages you get at IIT Kanpur with respect to the VLSI domain?
Okay, so in terms of faculty, you can say that then there are more professors who are working in the devices area. And since I've already told you that my interest was more in the device, so I actually looked into, because I'm an MSR student, right? So I was applying for, interviews in many IITs, and I was looking into what kind of, area the professors are working. So IIT Kanpur was one of those, priority lists. So that's why, like Shubham Sahai sir, he's my supervisor. So he's working on memories, neuromorphic computing, and then
Your voice has been muted, I guess. I'm unable to hear. Able to hear your voice. Can I hear you? Like, am I audible?
as I was as I was already mentioning that these professors, I was looking into their profile, all areas they are working on. So that's why IIT Kanpur I chose, and obviously I was giving interview for every kind of IIT. I just wanted to get inside. So, but yeah, IIT Kanpur definitely was my priority. And coming to the work environment, my research and everything. So yeah, facilities are all good, and there's no complaint from that side. Um, Apart from that, I would say that IIT Kanpur, environment as in like the campus, I would say it's really good. And obviously, I did my graduation from HPTI Kanpur, so I was more comfortable joining the area where I'm comfortable with. So I wanted to be in the northern side of India only. So yeah, Kanpur was my priority.
Moving on to the next question, ma'am. There's always a complaint from the student community that there's no linkage of what is being taught in the classroom and what the industry expects. So how would you address this issue?
See, it's not going to change. Obviously not, because the curriculum and everything is decided by professors who are, they are really good at what they're teaching, but they are reluctant into changing the type of course that, they are providing, because it's obvious that they want more research papers to be published, right? For that, you have to study theory. You don't have to prepare for, companies, obviously. Like, obviously, I'm like doing MSR, so they expect a lot of research from my side, work on thesis. And that's why if you say that the college is going to provide you those kind of courses or those kind of skills, then they're definitely not going to do that. There are exceptions, actually. I also studied in IIT Delhi, so there the course structure was really, job oriented. So there the skills of, using different kind of software, Centaurus, TCAD, and all those things. So there were projects also, we were working on that. In IIT Kanpur also there are subjects, and these all things are to be done, but some of the professors only doing that. And obviously there is more emphasis on the thesis part rather than these skills. So if you are job oriented, like goal is to join some company like Qualcomm, AMD, and etc., then obviously you have to learn these skills apart from studying basic theories and all. You have to do some things from your own side, and for that obviously you can consult to your seniors who have already sat for their job preparation, so they already know what all skills you need to hone over, and they'll help you on those things.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not going to happen from the courses that you're doing. Definitely not.
Yes, ma'am. True. So, ma'am, when you first joined as an intern at Qualcomm, like what was your experience and takeaway from the work arena, and how did you improvise to maximize the work efficiency there?
Okay, it was really difficult for me to adjust, because here we have the flexibility to do anything. Like if you want to study, we can study for 2 hours, 3 hours. And if you don't want to study, we can just skip it, right? But when you join a corporate, there you have to sit 9 to 5, and there's going to be, a work given to you. You have to complete it within 2 days, 3 days span. And well, it also depends on what kind of team you're joining. Like my team, my manager was really strict, you could say, but he wanted me to learn a lot of things. So he was expecting me to do also a lot of tasks he was giving me. And because obviously you have to do such kind of things which you do not have experience of doing those type of task in colleges, so you have to learn many skills there. So I was trying to learn many things. I have to give a presentation by the end of the day as well. For other teams it was not like that, but my manager was really strict. So these all things you have to do, but you have to start from the scratch when you join a company, so you don't have to worry about that from now onwards. Just focus on your skills you have to develop, just to add into your resume, because they are obviously going to see what sets your resume apart from the others. So you have to go through all those things, like maintaining a good resume, what skills you need to develop, what courses you need to have. CPI is also really important, but these are all only required until you join a company. Once you join a company, there's going to be, you have to start from scratch. So it is going to be really different experience. For me it was little difficult because I have to learn a lot of things. For others teams, like they were really lenient, you can say, so they didn't have to study a lot. It depends on your luck as well. But anyhow,
Yes,
you have to do a lot of hard work after joining as well.
okay. Ma'am, if you can push a little back, like how did you apply for Qualcomm, and like what are the procedures you followed, and how did you ensure that you were shortlisted at the Qualcomm internship?
Okay. So there's this, you can say that IIT professors are already in contact with a lot of companies, right? So, and these companies require interns, and so basically what Qualcomm did is that they contacted one of the professors of IIT Kanpur, and they forwarded this mail. So we had to send our resumes to it, and then these resumes were shortlisted, after which the shortlisted people were called for a telephonic interview. So I would say the resume was shortlisted on the basis of your, what kind of projects you have did. What is your CPI was really important. Like I saw that below 7 were
first hand rejected. So CPI is the most important thing. Then obviously if you have done excellent projects, then they'll consider you. So my resume was obviously accepted because I was having 10 CPI, and I had done good projects as well because I had taken all the devices subjects. So I had done projects accordingly. And then the telephonic interview happened. It was a random interview. Everyone got a prior mail that this is the day, this is the time when the telephonic interview is going to happen. But I just randomly, got a call that, this is the last day and we are taking your interview, otherwise we won't be able to take. So I gave the interview for like 45 minutes. They asked me about I guess 12-15 questions, but they wanted a thorough explanation of each question. So it was like 45 minutes but 15 questions only. And I was able to answer 10 to 12 questions, and they were really helpful. Like whenever I was getting stuck, they used to help. And it's really common for all the interviews. Like they don't want you to answer exactly. It's obviously good that you were able to answer exactly the same thing that they want, but rather they are seeing whether you're able to, what is your thinking process, whether you're able to get to the answer. So they will help you also. And accordingly I was doing it, and it was a great experience, I would say. All those 45 minutes I learned a lot. I was able to crack all the questions also, so I felt really confident by the end of it.
Yes, ma'am. As a person who is into the core domain, like what would you suggest like young college students to choose between like front end or back end, like keeping the job for perspectives, salary, hikes, etc. in mind?
Okay, so well, it all depends on what you want to become, because at the end you have to go and work in this company for years and years. So you have to choose this the type of engineer that you want to become beforehand, because you can't just change in between, because you need to have experience of that front end engineer, and then you can go to another company. You just can't change from front end to back end like that. You can obviously, if you want to, you don't want to be in that, but it's better, it's cautious that you choose one thing first. When you're going to join after your college, in whichever company you're going to join, so you should actually think about it beforehand only. So like my interest in devices area, so I was looking for those kind of job only, but I got internship, then I got PPO offer. So it was like, okay, I can go for that verification engineer, basically my job is. So I can go for that as well. But if given choice, I would still want to explore more of the devices area. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yes, ma'am. Like moving on to the next question, ma'am. Like, is masters in the USA or in a foreign country better with respect to like MTech in India? Like, why? And can you explain a bit about it?
Okay. Yeah, definitely it's better, I would say, because well, you see, in India, I don't know why is this, because post graduation is obviously something which is better than graduation, right? You are working on a particular field only, and you are doing specialization in that. It's better. You are doing thesis, you are getting into the concepts, and you are trying experimenting on it. And companies would rather prefer you post graduations. And basically I've seen in India only that UGs are preferred over PGs, and PGs are given less in number. You can say number of jobs offered to PGs are less than the UGs. But in foreign you will see the reverse of it. Like the post graduation is really hyped there, and because of which I would say that it's better to go for foreign universities for post graduation rather than in India, because it's highly reputed there rather than in India, just because of that.
Okay, ma'am.
But it's going to be
Like,
really costly. And obviously,
yeah,
one disadvantage that I would say is that once you go there, you will not be able to return back. No, because they are going to give you so much benefits and incentives that you're going to stay there, and you'll try to find their job there. And it's not going to be really difficult finding a job in India, but it becomes a habit of living there, and standard of living and other factors. Also, it depends on the person, but yeah, I've seen that 90% of people who went out never returned.
exactly. That is true, ma'am. It's a brain drain kind of situation in the country.
So if you want to stay in India, you're a nationalist, then choose to, get a MTech and MSR in India. Otherwise, just go outside. Yeah, it's better.
Ma'am, according to the job profile you have, like what would you suggest young like BTech students to learn the skills in the programming languages like Verilog, System Verilog, UVM, or like some other languages? Like what would you suggest, and like where should we start?
Okay, so start from the courses that you're having. Okay, so they're going to be projects, they're going to be assignments given to you. If they're containing, these types of projects and assignments, which are, in which you can use these kinds of languages and all, it's well and good. Okay, from there you can study. If not, then you can, join classes like online classes. There are Udemy and other things. Then you can, study from there. And YouTube is the best platform. I would say that it's all free. You want to learn System Verilog, you can, learn from there. From my own experience in Qualcomm, they gave me a project of designing a alarm clock. Okay, so System Verilog was being used there. So I studied it from the YouTube only. Like I knew it, but a basic level from my college. Then when I got there, it was obviously a professional thing that I have to do professional projects. So I learned it a lot there in 2.5 month period. So I learned it completely from YouTube, free. So yeah, these are the platforms that from where you can study these all things. System Verilog, VHDL, these are important. Like they're asked in the interviews as well. These are the basics things that you need to learn as a VLSI engineer. Rest, mostly that I have experienced is that they're going to ask in interviews, they're going to ask you very basic questions. Just be, clear in your basic concepts. That is enough.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, like moving to the next question here. There's a buzz going on, like in India, that within the next 5 or 10 years, the semiconductor industry will be on an upward trajectory, just like the software bubble in the 1990s. So, how would you see this one, and like what are your advices to be better prepared to face the industry?
I think that it is going to be, a stable thing in India, because recession also, if you can see that it is hard hitting in US but not in India as such, obviously because we have a lot of US based companies, so we are in disadvantage because of the recession. But overall, if you see in long term, in India we are not going to face any issue like bubble burst or anything, because we are still growing, right? We have a lot of population, so you can say but see that how much proportion of that population is currently skilled to join such MNCs. No, we are not that much, like the proportion is not that high. So still they are going to be, it's a long term, it's not going to burst any in upcoming 10 years. No, it won't. And still there are many job openings and other things, so you don't have to worry about that in India.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And like coming to your passion side, ma'am, like in such a hectic schedule, how would you manage to take time out for your YouTube channel? Because like being a vlogger is not an easy task. Because like being a vlogger, like shooting videos is one thing, and like editing those is like a completely different thing. So how would you juggle time between the office, your studies, and this one?
Yeah, no, it wasn't easy. That's why it's like an on and off thing for me. YouTube is a place where I feel happy doing it, right? You study, and then there are other things like playing guitar, playing badminton, and listening to music and making YouTube videos. It's like that for me. So whenever I get time, I think about like this kind of video I can make. So I plan like for I have to take out time for shooting, then for editing it takes about a whole day, so it's a hectic thing. So whenever I get time, like just after midterms I have time, right? The course is not starting or anything, then I find time to do these kind of things. Otherwise it's not like, I don't want to make a career out of it, obviously, because I have a job and I want to prosper there only. So it's like a happy go thing. Like if I want to explore my creative side, I go into vlogging. And basically I started it when we were in lockdown period. So yeah, so we had a lot of time, and the courses were also online, so there was no such hectic schedule, and we were not around our friends, so there were a lot of time in our hands, and that's why I started. I used to watch a lot of vlogs of students from Harvard and these Ivy League colleges, and I thought, why not IITians are making it? Like, people are really curious what goes on inside. So I wanted to show that once I got a chance and I got admission in IIT Kanpur. So I thought, why not do it? Let's try it. Don't that's also one of the things that I would want anyone who is seeing this video, want to tell them, just go for it. Whatever creative side you have, just go for it. If you want to sing, just sing, or make reels or these things. And don't be feared like what people would say, how they'll always judge. Whatever you do,
Yeah.
they'll always judge. So it doesn't matter, just do it. If it doesn't matter if you fail or you get success, just go on with it. And if you don't feel like continuing, just stop it. Try different things. You can always change.
Yes, ma'am. Like, ma'am, what would you recommend a BTech or MTech student like watching this video, like with respect to the books, resources, and the job opportunities out there in the market?
Okay. So if you are aspiring VLSI engineer and you want to get a job in MNCs like Qualcomm and these all things, then obviously there are going to be skills like learning a programming skill like System Verilog, VHDL. These are basics. These are definitely going to be asked in the interview. You have to do projects, if not in your courses done in the colleges, then you can go for YouTube. You can make your self projects. You can add in your resume. So you can follow up them on YouTube, or you can add these courses are also available in Udemy and all those learning platforms, so you can do the from there. CPI is really important. Like these companies I've already seen. I've also placement coordinator in IIT Kanpur, so I've seen that these companies were rejecting straightforwardly because there are many applications to them. So they'll see, the first thing that they'll see is the CPI. So maintain it above 8.5. If it is below that, then no worries, you can do a lot of projects, which is also going to help you at the end. And well, the books that I can prefer is Rabbi. Everyone says that. No. Yeah, so it's true that many interviewers are going to ask questions from there onwards. And one thing is that these all questions are always repeated. So try to find out what all questions were asked to your seniors. You can find them also on the YouTube channels. Your channel is one of those. Like, actually, I came to know about your channel when I was looking, I was preparing for Qualcomm internship. So I was looking for, the type of questions that are asked in these kind of interviews. So there you go, this YouTube and all those things. And obviously your mentors, your seniors are going to be your best channel through which you can learn a lot. And what type of things that you need to do is really important. You should have a proper plan in your mind that these are the type of courses that I need to learn. These are type of the skills that I want to have, and the type of questions. Yeah, these are always going to be repetitive.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And one more question, ma'am, here is like, do referrals work in the companies?
Yeah, they do. Definitely do.
Okay.
Because employers are also at benefit by giving such like good referrals, right? They'll always give you. So be in contact with your seniors through LinkedIn and all, and ask them if they can give you referrals, and they definitely work.
Okay, ma'am. So like how it would work, ma'am? Like we'll be skipping some interviews or like the initial rounds, or how would that work out?
So it is basically like if you have your senior in some big MNC, then you can contact them. They can give you a referral, and there will be a meeting set up directly. Like, they can be resume shortlisting as well. It depends on the company if they want to do shortlisting first. But definitely it will be beneficial because you can see people apply through LinkedIn as well, right? But then how many are actually considered? But through referral, it is directly considered in a company. So it's way better.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was indeed like great talking to you, ma'am. As an engineer myself, I felt that many jigsaw puzzles I had in my mind have been clarified. So hope to see you on another episode of our channel very soon. in a more technical interview per se. Until then, Shubhratri, study hard and take care. So signing off, this is Anurag, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Can I end?